Was ist los? It's your German boy, and welcome back to Lucy the Eternity She Wished For. Now, this is part 3 we are in. In the last episode, we took it upon ourselves that we are going to take our android girl and we're gonna get her fixed up. So now we're trying to figure out how we're going to actually get her to the shop. So we can either put her in our backpack or carry her on our back like kind of a cutesy style. So yeah, considering what we know about backpacks, I don't think that's gonna work all too well. So we're going to carry her on our back. Guess there's no other choice. I kneel down, facing away from the robot. Alright, hop onto my back. It tilts its head to the side, looking confused. After noticing that, I start to get a little irritated. Top of the line, yeah, right. Man, give her a break. She's clearly not operating at her best. We all have our off days. Am I supposed to explain every little thing? Listen up. Put your arms around my neck and climb onto my back. Can you do that? It follows my instructions to the letter.
確認要請。この方法で合っていますか?
Ah! Oh! Stop! I surrender! The strangling grip loosens. I collapse to my knees in a coughing fit. Think I nearly blacked out there. Are you trying to murder me? There's no need to put that much force into it. Just do it enough not to fall off. Honest to God, I thought I was a goner. That thing's got a steel vice chokehold. This android should look to be a world wrestling champion. Okay, let's try that again. Second time's a charm. Rising off the floor, I brace myself for the extra weight. Huh? But lo and behold, it was deceptively light. I think I'm coming around to appreciating this first-class product. And lift off. The weather's not too bad. The brisk autumn breeze is cool against my skin. I gladly inhale the crisp morning air, letting last night's stress melt away. The streets are still quiet, which is good. The less there are to see this, the better. Especially with what I'm lugging on my back. Let's see here. Where's the repair shop? If memory serves, it should be about 15 minutes away. Which is a relief, as I'm not really what you'd call a fit guy. Not sure I can schlep this thing much longer. And now this robot's fidgeting. Hold on tighter so you don't fall off. Feels like I'm scolding a child. Hey, stop moving around so much. Okay, just a sec. That's fucking adorable. I could feel the android through my clothes. Its texture feels surprisingly similar to a human's. I'd noticed it yesterday, yet it manages to surprise me again today. And that's not the only thing. It's warm to the touch. It feels as if I'm carrying an actual person. Probably just its heating system. That would explain it. Wow, feels just like a real person. I muttered to myself absent-mindedly.
冷却器および温度計は正常に作動しています。
Scheiß. Sieger hörst mich. Say what?
人間の温度を目安
Oh, I think we're boned.
な発熱量の調節を繰り返し行っています。
Good to know. Yeah. Motherboards and microprocessors consisting of various computer chips. There must be thousands of those inside a single android. The heat emanating from the machine, it's as warm as human skin. It feels just like us. But it's not a real person. Just an elaborate fake. Sometimes I fear what progress in technology would bring to the future. Do you know where we're headed? With a whir, the robot shakes its head sideways. We're going to a place that'll get you fixed up. When they begin the repairs, you need to be still and quiet, so they won't be distracted. Do you understand? Hey, I'm asking if you understood. Say something. Maybe it took my command literally. I just hope it got my message. Letting out a frustrated sigh, I resume walking. It'll be about time for my classmates to head in. I begin to hurry, so as to avoid running into anyone that might recognize me. I arrive at the place in an aching and huffing mess. Sure has the look of a small antique shop. Though mostly dealing in second-hand goods, they do dabble in robot repairs. But there's even a fixer who likes robotics, and that he's half decent. Normally I wouldn't be caught in a place like this, but these are unusual circumstances. Let's see, what kind of voice am I gonna do here? Give me a sec. Prep myself. What? A customer already? Hold on a second. Talk about a grumpy demeanor. After a while, a man emerges from the back, scratching his head. And judging from that none too pleasant expression, I'm pretty sure the guy's not an early riser. Stifling a yawn, he asks, "So, what can I do for you so early in the morning?" Unable to move my arms, I gesture at the android draped over my back with my chin. "Can you fix this?" "Is that an android?" Wiping his tired eyes, he gazes intently at the robot. "Let me see here. I don't think I've ever seen this model before." I spot a glint of curiosity in those sleepy, half-closed eyes of his. He walks over to take a closer look. Well, I'm stumped. can't make it out the model. It's probably some obscure model from an unknown company, or it's never been actually released to the public. Where'd you get this, kid? Well, how should I play this? You might call the cops on me, as what I did was clearly illegal. So, what should I say? Oh, we actually get to pick it. You know what? I sense a Heaven's Lost Property reference from this one, so let's do it, just for the hell of it. Back in middle school, I confessed to my first love. The tension, the drama. It's something I won't be able to forget as long as I live. Capturing those emotions within my lips, I say the following words with utmost sincerity. It fell from the sky. Right. Sure it did. He's sharper than I thought. I like that. Hey, you don't want to tell me? That's fine. Not my business to pry. After flashing a charming grin, he resumed examining the android. Now, I don't know where this thing is exactly from, but it's definitely not from the S Company. Mind if I take a closer look? Go right ahead. I sat down the robot. The repairman examines it meticulously from head to toe. The android's like a statue, its eyes staring right at me. Good thing I told it to stay quiet before we got here. Number on its belly here. PIM. Must be from K Robotics. I suddenly grew a bit nervous. This guy's sharper than he looks. Well, no choice but to ride this. I play dumb. K Robotics, you said? That's right. They're close by. And how can you... I recognize the build. This make. K are the only ones that can produce this level of quality. But something's not right. He stares at the android. I've seen my fair share, but this model's a complete unknown. Are you like the only child of that company's president or something? No. Then I guess you really did find it somewhere. Consider yourself damn lucky. Not a single bit of information has been released about this model yet. That's how new it is. Looks like I've hit the jackpot. You're telling me. Sure doesn't feel like it though. What are you talking about? Wait a minute. What's this? A nasty frown forms on his face. Is something wrong? Yeah, you could say that. Suddenly, he starts fussing like a little kid. What kind of sicko would do this? Just look at it. The whole frame's ruined. It won't even be able to move around properly on its own. He was right. Pretty savvy of him to point that out. I guess he's a real deal after all. Well, considering what we witnessed in our bedrooms the other night, I think a fucking brain-dead chimpanzee would be able to point that out, but that's not my place to judge. So you think you can fix it? That's not the main issue here. There's something more important. And what's that? Do you have the resolve to take proper care of an android? The resolve? Where does this come from? Listen, androids break easily. They're fragile. They're sensitive. They're delicate. Do you get what I'm saying here? He emphasizes his point 3 times, so I guess. That's how passionate he was about it. I can see that he really loves his robots. But at the same time, it's starting to freak me out. He continues to rant. To a lot of people, androids are nothing but fancy toys nowadays. I mean, those kinds of folks pay for my food and my bills. But whenever I hear about they've been mistreating their androids, I tend to lose my temper. They don't understand how important these creatures really are to us. I unwittingly take a small step back. Creatures. This man just referred to androids as creatures. Scheiße, even I wouldn't take it that far. He's not right in the head. From time to time, there have been people who fall in love with androids. I feel attacked right now. Let's move on. Not just carnal desire. I'm talking about people who are willing to spend the rest of their lives with androids, treating them as equals. It's a controversial topic that's getting more discussion that kind of bleeds into real life a little bit as well. I feel like that could warrant like a dissertation of its own at a later date. But let's face it, we're not here to hear me talk about that. We're here to play a game. Let's get back to it. It's an abnormality spawning from an advancing civilization with constant innovation in technology. As someone who's never seen it happen firsthand, I've always refused to believe it. I can't believe such people actually exist. I'm right here, fucko! An android simply lacks the intellect to be paired up with a human being. It's nothing but a glorified hunk of metal. Now I really feel attacked. I hate this guy. Contain yourself. Let that rage divest itself elsewhere. Let's just get through this. It's nothing but a glorified hunk of metal that can make our lives a bit easier. I'd rather spend my entire life with a monkey. At least, monkeys are actual living creatures. And they share many similarities with humans. This is my first-hand experience with such a case, and I feel more disappointed than shocked. We'll get used to it, because I feel like we're gonna be seeing a little more of it down the road. Just saying, we're one step ahead of you. He seems perfectly normal. Guess you can't judge a book by its cover. I'll get it fixed, but you'd better treat it right. Got it? Really? I'm not the one who banged it up in the first place. Even so, I don't feel like it's worth starting an argument over. Let's just get this over with. Crystal. Yeah! What a great kid. At least you listen when someone tells you something. Since we're all chummy now, how about lowering your price? Ha! Don't push your luck, kid. That was a full 180. So much for our budding friendship. You know what? Fine. Half price. since you're my first customer of the day. I'm relieved to hear that. Any discounts are most certainly welcome. Great! Can you have it ready by the end of school? It's a pretty light day, so yeah, it's doable. He punches some numbers into his calculator. Then he shows me the results. I was planning on charging you only about this much. What do you think? I blank out for a bit. There are a lot of video games that I've always wanted to buy. I also need to save up for new textbooks that I'll be using next year. And my air conditioning dash actuators, my brake and throttle control modules, my fuel gauge sending unit. We're not here to rant about Misaka today, though. This robot had better pay for itself. Fine, I'll pay you when I come back. Holding out my treasured pocket watch, I glance at the time. I've wasted way too much time here. An outdated gear clocker in this day and age? I like it. It has a nostalgic charm. I'm well aware that these types of watches are hard to find, but more importantly, this is my personal way of rebelling against this continuously developing society. Hey, you piece of... We're not gonna get through to this guy for a while, are we? We'll break him. We'll break him. Can't you hear me? No response. I finally decide to address it by its name. Lucy? The robot immediately reacts. What's with this thing? I'll be back after school. Behave yourself, alright? The android wobbles its head back and forth. I'm hoping it understood me. And with that, I leave the shop. I hightail it towards my high school. I'm in second year. While running, a movie I saw recently springs to mind. An old sci-fi flick set in the year 2050. All these oldies seem to be lacking in one thing. Creativity. If you showcase large-scale space battles, others would have flying vehicles soaring through the sky. Well, guess what? It's 2050, and we don't have moon-sized starships or flying cars zipping around. People still walk to school. People still drive normal vehicles. Thank God. People still ride bicycles and skateboards. Some people still use old fountain pens or pocket watches like me. But there exists a single piece of technology that's been more prominent in our lives. Androids. They're being used everywhere around the world. That's one thing these aged films got right. The morning bells snap me from my reverie, and I dash straight to my classroom. A janitor android scolds me as I rush past it. This type has facial recognition software to report any transgressor. Like me. Except I simply cover my face, and there's no record. You gotta know how to exploit the system. Only it were that easy. Safe! Bolstered by my recent victory, I strut towards my desk with a confident swagger. I notice that the teacher's not in yet. I plunk down on my seat while still huffing. Who's this? You know, I think this is actually a decent place to leave it off, because I feel like I've been going for a while. So, I guess I'll cut it here. We'll see if we can get this guy to see things from our perspective one of these days, but honestly, I'm not gonna hold my breath. This guy is a piece of work. We'll get him, though. Trust me, by the end, I feel like we're gonna get him. Anyway, I guess that's, like I said, all I've got. This is the German Idol God. Auf Wiedersehen!